What's going on, guys? Got another comic book haul video for you. I got a short stack of mostly recent back issues from my local shop, Pop's Comics. They were having a 4-year, they've been open for 4 years, so they're having their 4-year anniversary sale a few weeks ago. So they were having all their new books, all recent back issues, I guess, were $1. Anything under $10 that was new was $1. And then their back issues, I think, the regular price back issues were, I think, 10 or 15% off, and then their dollar books were 50 cents. So I picked up $2 books, and then the rest were recent back issues, so they were all $1. I've got, like I said, the first two are regularly dollar books, so they were 50 cents each. It's a short stack, like I said, mostly new stuff, which is kind of not what I normally do, but I bought them, so it's some fun stuff, and just get started here. First one, as my dog gets a drink, I hope you guys can hear that, he's very thirsty, is this Wildcats #1. This is the Wizard Ace Edition number 69. It's got a cool acetate cover there. Woo, fancy, fancy. And this is just a reprint of Wildcats #1. That first Image Jim Lee title. This came out, I think it was, what's it say, 5 years ago, so this was in 97. 5 years ago, they say. That's when Wildcats 1 came out. Obviously, this came out more than 5 years ago. I've never seen this before. I've been slowly working my way up to these Wizard Ace editions. Some of them are fun. This one, I got it just because the acetate cover. I know some of them were like zeros or half issues or ash cans and stuff, so some of them are even signed, I think, I'm not sure. But this was the first time I'd seen this, and big Jim Lee fan, big Image fan, and I can't say no to 90s acetate goodness for 50 cents. And then the other 50-cent book I got was this Marvel Age preview. Just got this. It's got the early preview of Spider-Man 1 here, obviously. So this was kind of the previews of the day, I guess. There's a thing for Spider-Man. Well, not really previews because it's not really an order form. I guess it's more just a marketing thing to drum up support for the titles and stuff that they were releasing. Again, this was all pre-internet stuff, so I didn't have a lot to direct marketing to the consumers. One thing I did find that I did think was pretty cool. Where is it? Oh, there's a ad for Thanos Quest. That's pretty cool. Some Spider-Man, or Silver Surfer. There's let me see. There's an ad for, or a promo for Star Wars, the Dark Empire series. Oh, hold on. I didn't see that. Alf. Love Alf. Oh, there's Camp Candy too, that John Candy comic. Anyway, so just fun stuff. But yeah, what caught my eye was, here we go, the Star Wars Dark Empire, which is obviously, well, that's his 3-issue limited series. But when I went to Dark Horse, it was 6 issues. But the format, see, it says 64 page, so they probably broke it up into the 6 issues. I'm pretty sure this is the same Dark Empire that was eventually published by Dark Horse. It's got the same writer and artist, Tom Veitch and Cam Kennedy. And this was in the 90s, or I think 1990. Let's see, what's the copyright? Yeah, June 1990. And then, so that Dark Empire series came out for Dark Horse, I think in late 91. So at this point, I guess Marvel still had the Star Wars license, but they lost it, or they just went over, Star Wars just went over to Dark Horse. Maybe Dark Horse paid them more money, and that's why they went over. But I just thought it was interesting that the Dark Horse, Dark Empire thing was in this preview. I didn't know that it was going to be originally published by Marvel, but there we have it. So those were the $2 books I got. The rest of these were all recent back issues. And most of these I wouldn't pick up for cover price, because cover price on most of these is $4 to $5. So don't buy a lot of new comics. primarily for that reason, because I don't like paying $4 or $5 for a single issue when a lot of places around here, they have sales to try to dump their inventory of the recent stuff, just like Pops did. So if you're a little patient, you can get them for good deals. So the rest of these were all dollar books, recent back issues. This first one is, what is this? It says Hell Witch Annual number 8. It's obviously, it's an homage to the Captain America Annual 8 with Captain America and Wolverine fighting on it. That's why I picked it up. So, is that not focusing too well? I can't tell. There we go. And they made it up to look like it's on a slab. They even go, it's called CCG. Can you see that? CCG instead of CGC, which is funny. But it's got the title up there. Hell Witch vs. Lady Death, Wargasm 1 of 2, Homage Slabbed Edition. So I guess CCG is Coffin Comics Group. Coffin Comics, they publish all the Lady Death and Evil Ernie stuff now. So, like I said, this is something I normally wouldn't buy for cover price. It's some kind of incentive. I was looking on eBay. I couldn't tell what the ratio was or anything. But I think some of the recent sold listings were, I don't know, $10, $20, something like that. So I'm not going to sell this. I just like the homage and was happy to find it for $1. And I got a couple more limited incentives, I guess. This one is Junior Horrors Karate Kai number 1. Just a fun, not homage, parody comic. That's the word I was looking for. Parody of Karate Kid and a bunch of the old 80s horror movies. So this one is, it's got the print runs on the back of them. So that one was cover C. This is limited to 250 copies. And then I got another same comic, just different cover. This one's got Johnny and Danielson on it, and this one was $600. So those are cool. And cover price on those is $6 each, so no way I was paying that much for them. So happy to find them for $1. Just a fun parody comic. I flipped through it. It kind of takes place in a high school where all those 80s horror monsters exist, like Michael Myers and Jason and Freddy, and then they all start learning karate because even though it's not the 80s, that's what they were doing. So again, Johnny Lawrence is my spirit animal, so anything I see with him on it, I have to buy. Got a couple of Harley Quinn books here. This is the 30th anniversary special. Just a cool J. Scott Campbell cover. It's a pretty thick book. It's a square-bound book, and it's an anthology. There's a bunch of different stories in there. Normal cover price on these was $10, so I got the J. Scott Campbell cover, and then I got the Bruce Timm cover, which I really like. Obviously more from the Batman the Animated Series style. And what's cool about this is, like I said, it's a real thick book, but then on the inside there was tons of different variant covers for this anniversary special for Harley Quinn. So it's not quite a gallery, but every few pages or so they do one. There's the Art Germ cover, and let's see, I think they've got both the Bruce Timm and the J. Scott Campbell ones in here as well. Yeah, there's the Bruce Timm, there's J. Scott Campbell, and then who else do they have? That might be it. Oh, that was a different one. That is, what does it say? Jerome Opeña and Tomu Mori. So Harley and Swamp Things is pretty cool. And then, yeah, that looks like Terry Dodson. So that's pretty cool. And then let's see. Yep. And then in the back they've got, there's the Adam Hughes one, and then that's Lee Bermejo. That's pretty cool. But I was happy to get those. Like I said, I never would pay $10 for those, so $1 a piece is just right. And I grabbed this other one. This is the Harley Quinn ongoing series. This is number 18. This is just a fun Derek Chew cover. I just picked this one up because they're playing hockey, and I play hockey and love hockey, so anytime I see a hockey-themed cover for cheap, I will grab it. Another fun square-bound one, Octobriana with Love, #1. I had no idea what this comic was. I've never seen anything about it before, but it looked fun. It's got the cool trade dress from the old Marvel issues, and apparently Octobriana is a, what do they call it? Public domain character, first introduced in 1971, which is weird because 1971 is like at the height of the Cold War, and when Russia was, still the Soviet Union and, communism. I didn't know I thought everything would be public domain as far as intellectual property goes, but I'm not too sure about that. But I just thought this looked fun. Again, this is an anthology book. It's got some about 4 or 5 different stories by different artists and writers, so that's cool. One thing I do like about these anthology books, I got one more to show you. It's Transformers Best of Grimlock. I like going through these to find new artists that I've never heard of before, because the Octobriana and the Transformers one, they have older stories in there. The artwork in the old Transformers comics is not great, but this one was really cool. When I was flipping through this, I really liked the art in this story. It's very much in the Generation 1 designs with Prime and Grimlock, and then Grimlock gets like transported into a Savage Land type place and starts, what does he start? He calls these weird chickens, what does he call them? Bird lizard. Yeah, he calls them bird lizards and starts squishing them and then fighting some other stuff. So I don't know. I just really like the art, and the artist on that one is Agustin Padilla, I think his name is, which again I'd never heard of him before. Yeah, art by Agustin Padilla. So he did the pencils on the new King Grimlock series. I think it was a 5-issue miniseries that either just ended or is about to end. And I really had no interest in that just because there's so much Transformers stuff. I don't really know what to buy or where to start. But since I got this anthology and found that, I'm going to start looking for that King Grimlock series when I can find it for cheap. So that's cool. These IDW one-shots, they've done a best of for the Transformers, a bunch of the characters, for Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joe, and I think that might be it for now. It's basically all their popular IPs. So it's fun they collect a lot of the stories from the older issues that are harder to find now, especially the Ninja Turtles stuff, because those are really expensive. But it's nice to get all those collected in one place, and like I said, I like using it to discover new artists, so happy to find that. And cover price on that was $7, so for $1, I was happy to get that. Then picked up a couple of Street Fighter comics. This is Street Fighter Masters Chun-Li #1. I think that's the A cover, and then I got the B cover, so just happy to find those. These are really fun. The art on the inside of these is really cool too. It's got Chun-Li at the pool, and then I think Cammy's there too eventually. But there's some good fight scenes eventually after they leave the pool. There we go. So that was cool. Just very dynamic panel layouts, lots of action going on and everything. So I was happy to find those. I don't know. They're probably going to do a Street Fighter Masters for, most of the main characters. I don't know if they're going to do anything more than just the one-shots or whatever, but if I find them for cheap, I'll grab them. Next, I got this Armageddon game #1. This is the cover B, the Kevin Eastman cover. And I buy the Ninja Turtles ongoing series new every month, but they do a lot of, well, I shouldn't say a lot. Every year they probably do a spin-off or like big crossover event, and this year it's the Armageddon game. And I wasn't going to collect all those because they have like the prequel to the Armageddon game, and then I think there's at least like one spin-off of the Armageddon game, big event series, which is just ridiculous. I'm not going to pay $4 and $5 for those as they all come out. You can find them for cheap a few months later. So when I find the Eastman covers, I think he does the cover Bs on most all the IDW Turtle stuff now. So I was happy to find that. And then I had that Thanos Quest preview earlier. This is Thanos Quest 1, or it's a reprint of books 1 and 2. I think it's got them, on the back there. The Jim Starlin, Ron Lim stuff. It's got the original art in there. It's really cool, beautiful Ron Lim artwork. Look at that. Oh, that is sick. Love it. Yeah. So, if you don't know, Thanos Quest is how Thanos got the Infinity Gems together, and then this was kind of the prequel to the Infinity Gauntlet big event in the early 90s, which was a lot of fun and introduced me to all the cosmic characters, and I've loved them ever since. They're definitely my favorite of the Marvel pantheon, I guess, of characters. I love the cosmic stuff a lot more than the street level characters. So I was happy to find that. I'm still working on trying to find the originals. I've read both books a number of times. I've had them collected in different trade paperbacks, but even when they came out, they were, I was 10 years old, so I didn't have a lot of expendable income. And they were like, I think cover price on those was probably like $7 or $8, and then they went up immediately. Basically, they were $20 books almost right out of the gate, I think. And that's probably about how much they are now, but I haven't bought them yet. But I'll get them one day when I can find them for a decent price. And just 2 more books here. Just Town Called Terror, #1. This was just a cover by, it's a Tony Daniel cover B. I read through the story. It was pretty good. It's a vampire story. Good, setup in this first issue. So I won't actively look for this one, but if I find them for cheap, I'll pick them up. And then the last book I got was this Hack Slash Hot Shorts. I grabbed this one again just for the cover. It's an artist I'd never heard of. She's Spanish, I believe. Her name is Susie Suspiria Vilches, and she's got Suspiria in quotation marks. So that's what she goes by on Instagram. I found her on there, and she hasn't done any interior work for any comics. She's just done maybe 10 or so covers right now, and so I'm going to try to find all of those. I just really like her art style. It's kind of a painted brushwork to it that is you don't see a lot these days. So it's just really cool cover. Just like discovering new artists and going back and finding their catalog, especially when they don't have a lot to collect. You just kind of piece it together all in one shot and then pick up any new stuff that they do. So yeah, that's it. Alright guys, that will do it for this haul. It was a little different, mostly new books, but I still buy new books and I still like sharing them with you guys. So hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you later.